Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. And yesterday we got some really big Gundam gaming news. After 8 years of waiting, we are finally getting Gundam Breaker 4. New Gundam Breaker does not count. It was first shown off at the latest Nintendo Direct, and shortly after that, the full trailer went live and pre-orders for some physical versions also went up. But before we talk about those, let's talk about the details of the game that we know so far. Because I do also have some exclusive information for you that I got directly from Bandai. And it is definitely some good news. First and foremost, the game is a direct sequel to the fan-favorite Gundam Breaker 3 and Gundam Breaker Mobile, as well as the Bad Luck anime. So I can tell you that characters from those will be reappearing. Some in major roles, some as cameos, so I wonder what Sana is going to be. Also, you will be able to choose between the original Japanese dubbing or an English voiceover. And in another let's forget about new Gundam Breaker move, remember hot swapping parts mid-battle? Well, that's gone now. And not only is it not coming back, in the notes that I received about this, they even capitalized it. So it is completely gone. And other features that fans didn't enjoy will also be removed. They didn't specify which ones will also be removed, just that there was too much focus on PvP and that they will be rectifying that. And related to that, the game will be single player with optional co-op of up to 3 players. So far, so good. Gameplay-wise then, they improved the combat and the Gunpla customization, with the biggest new feature being dual wielding of one-handed weapons. And we're not just talking about like the dual wielding that was in previous games. Like, you had dual wielding versions of certain weapons. The idea now is that you can freely equip different weapons, one-handed weapons, and then use their different abilities and features to make combos. And to supplement this, they also tried to give like the different types of weapons different effects. For example, in the information that I got, they talk about combining a whip with a beam saber. The whip is weaker but a longer range melee weapon that also pulls the enemies towards you, which then combos nicely with the shorter range but more powerful beam saber or something like a heat hawk. And you can't just equip 2 different weapons now, but also 2 different arms. So our Gunpla customization capabilities have definitely gone up. And the same will be true for the amount of Gunpla that will be available. Now, we don't have the exact number yet, just that it will be more than 250, but they did confirm that at launch, Gundam Breaker 4 will have more kits than the previous games did at launch. The kits will range from 0079 to Witch from Mercury, so I guess that means we're not going to get any Gundam Seed Freedom kits at launch, but they did confirm that Fumina kits, plural, will be in the game as playable units this time around, and not as like a limited time boss battle thing. And of course, the fact that I can now create like custom Mecha Mizumi in this game by itself is already enough to get me excited. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how the standard Gunpla parts are going to mesh with like the Super Fumina kit. And when you're done customizing, you'll now also be able to show them off in the brand new diorama mode. You can combine multiple kits, you can add explosion, other kinds of effects, and also various types of terrain. As for the platforms you can get the game on then, you can get the digital version on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and on PC. But for those with a PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch, you can also get a physical version, which will be available as both a regular version and also a collector's edition. Or, well, at least for the people living in the regions where they are available, like North America and Japan. I highly doubt that Bandai Europe even knows what the hell a Gundam is. But anyways, I'll have the links to the physical versions down below. Pre-ordering the standard version will get you an early unlock of builder's parts and the RX-78 Gundam recirculation colors, and the collector's edition then will give you all of that, plus a steelbook, a digital soundtrack consisting of 45 songs, and the entry-grade gun barrel strike Gundam Breaker version. And my opinions on this thing are very split. I really like the design of this thing. The way they remodeled the Gun Barrel Striker pack is slightly janky, but in a really good way. The beams that the pods now sit on aren't very elegant, but they feel very utilitarian. And as a cherry on top, you also have the Buster's beam rifles, which go very well with a mobile suit meant for Mula Flaga, because as an ex-mobile armor pilot, he of course prefers long-range combat over melee combat. The colors then, they're making my eyes hurt. I can see how they drew inspiration from Mula Flaga's colors, but I'm really hoping this thing gets released in regular colors as well. If you want to get this thing in the game, then you'll have to get the Season Pass. And on top of that, they also announced the Diorama Pack set. And to wrap up the digital things then, there is the Digital Deluxe Edition, which comes with the base game, the Season Pass, and 15 early unlocks. And then there is the Digital Ultimate Edition, which comes with all of those things, plus the Diorama Pack set. When we'll get to play the game, though, is still up in the air. They did say that it was going to be this year, but they didn't give an exact date yet. So, time to break out those old Gundam Breaker games, not you, to get ready for Gundam Breaker 4. And to continue with the gaming news, the Perfect Gundam Thunderbolt version joins the fray in Gundam Battle Operation 2 for the PlayStation. In UC Engage, the UR Danton High Leg and the UR Zaku 3 Custom Twilight Axis have become available as unit assemblies, and the Combat Power Augmentation Operation went live. And what also went live is the collaboration between Gundam Seed Freedom and Monster Strike. So now we have all of the other amazing art of the characters and mobile suits that are part of this collaboration. There is Mu with the Akatsuki, Orphe and Ingrid with the Carla, Agnes and Shura with the Gyan Strom and Shi-ve-A, Daniel with his Rudra, Griffin with his Rudra, Radelard with her Rudra, Liu with his Rudra, Isaac with the Dual Blitz Gundam with the Meteor, and the Arca with the Lightning Buster Gundam, also with Meteor. On the Gunpla front then, they added a new kit to their sales lineup at the Hyper Plamo Fest 2024. The entry-grade RX-78 Gundam Vintage Color version, which goes for 1,650 Yen, 11 US. And those little specs that you see on the model kit is not some kind of special coating or a custom paint job. That is how the actual plastic looks. Because in order to get that vintage look, and also to be better for the planet, the plastic of this kit contains 20% sawdust and other leftover wood things that would otherwise be discarded anyways. And on top of giving this kit a very distinctive retro look, It also apparently gives the kit a faint wood smell, but they do give a warning that the smell might fade over time. And then to really tie everything together, we are also getting some retro stickers and very retro inspired box art. On a related note then, I really wonder what the next thing is going to be that they'll put in plastic. Because we started with just recycled plastic, like the black Eco Plug kits, and then we went to eggshells and used tea leaves, and now we have wood. So are we gonna use like used coffee grounds next? Because just for the novelty, I would love to have a Gunpla made out of used coffee. And continuing with the limited edition kits, on the 20th, the high-grade Rising Freedom Gundam Clear Color version and high-grade Destiny Gundam Spec 2 Clear Color version went up for pre-order on P Bandai. They were previously only available at movie theaters in Japan, so they have now become slightly less limited. They go for 2,640 yen each, 18 US, and will be shipping out in May. And other than being molded in clear plastic, the box is also quite different. Rather than having an image of the model kit itself, it now has art from the movie. And since we're on the topic of Gundam Seed Freedom, the movie has entered its 5th week, and cinema goers will now be getting this Kira illustration card. And of course, there's also more Gundam Seed Freedom stuff to buy. For 4,400 yen a pop, 29 US, there's these Chemopon plushies of Shin, Atheron, and Kira, with each of them wearing an animal ear cloak and having their faction emblem on their left foot. And you can get an equally adorable rendition of Kira, Lacus, Atheron, Kigali, Shin, Lunamaria, Izak, and Diarca as a ballpoint pen for 880 yen a piece, 6 US, a set of acrylic stands for 7,040 yen, 47 US, a set of acrylic keychains for 6,160 yen, 41 US, or as a set of can badges for 3,520 yen, 23 US. I believe that these are going to be limited to Premium Bandai and also to Animate, and the release date is May for the plushies and April for the other stuff. In June then, you can get these knee formation Gundam wafers that come with stickers. There's a total of 33 to collect, with characters from the original Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, and Freedom, and one chocolate-flavored wafer will cost you 143 yen, 1 US. Or, if you want to do some Gundam Seed Freedom karaoke, as part of their collaboration with Joy Sound, there is now a Gundam Seed Freedom themed room at the Joy Sound at the west exit of Ikebukuro Station and at the Shinsaibashi location in Osaka. It opened up today and will last until March the 25th. And we're also getting some Gundam Seed Freedom stuff on the figure front. Pre-orders opened up for the 6th lineup of G-Frame Full Armor featuring the Rising Freedom Gundam, Immortal Justice Gundam, the OG Gyan, and the OG Shars Custom Gelgoog. And as always with these regular G-Frame figures, each mobile suit comes as an armor set, which is the base model, and a frame set, which has a movable frame and the other accessories. One set goes for 748 yen, so that becomes 10 US for a full figure. And the set is slated for a July release. And then we're getting the same lineup, but slightly different from Mobility Joint Gundam Volume 7. There's the Rising Freedom Gundam, Immortal Justice Gundam, Gelgoog Menace, Gyan Strom, option parts for the Rising Freedom, option parts for the Immortal Justice, and option parts for the Gelgoog Menace and Gyan Strom. Each set goes for 715 yen, 5 US, and they're slated for a June release. And then finally for the figures, pre-orders on P Bandai started for 2 Witch from Mercury Robot Spirit sets. For 5,500 yen, 37 US, there is the Effect Part Set version anime, which from Mercury Edition. Although it is almost entirely for the aerial and variants, because it consists of flying effects and beam effects for the gun bits of the aerial and aerial rebuild, a fancy beam effect for the gun bit rifle of the rebuild, and some thruster effect parts for the Calibarn that can also be used by the rebuild and other figures. And then for 11,000 yen, 73 US, there is the aerial rebuild Quiet Zero version. It takes the previously released rebuild and now adds a special base modeled after the Quiet Zero, as well as a cool beam clashing effect part and an in-scale figure of Eri that can be placed on the shoulder. And both of these sets are slated for a July release. In other news then, on March the 2nd, 3rd, and 9th, Nippon Travel will be holding special tours of the Gundam Factory Yokohama, a new Gachapon store opened up at the Aeon Cinema Suzuka, and the Mobile Suit Girl of the week is the Kämpfer Girl. As for the things you could get these past 7 days then, we started out strong on the 17th with the Figurai Standard Chuaturi Pan Lunch. For 4,180 yen, 28 US, she comes with a variety of expressions like neutral, annoyed, happy, and standard, an assortment of improvised weapons, a smartphone, and extra leg parts for her famous sitting and squatting poses. So, quite the bundle that you don't want to miss. And you could get even more Witch from Mercury things through the second volume of Witch from Mercury Ichiban Kuji, the character lottery thing where you always win something. And for 700 yen a ticket, 5 US, you can win a Master Lice X-Piece figure of Suletta or Miorine, a big acrylic stand of Suletta and Miorine with the Calibarn, Guel with the Daryl Elan number 5 with the Feroct or Shadiq with the Michaelis, towels with one of the main characters and a quote, acrylic stands of the main characters, or a clear file and sticker set. And on the same day, we also got the Metal Robot Spirit Side MS Immortal Justice Gundam, which is of course ever so slightly more expensive. 19,800 yen, 132 US. But it does come with a nice array of accessories and beam effect parts. And they also specifically mentioned that it can pull off its very mid-transformation without the need for any parts forming. Like, it's not that that's something to be particularly proud of. Mid-90s no-grade Gunpla could pull off those transformations without parts forming. Starting Monday then, Mobile Suit Ensemble 26 spread across Gachapon machines in Japan. And to say that not every capsule is equal would be an understatement. For 500 yen a spin, a little over 3 US, you could get the Calibarn, the Immortal Justice, the Immortal Justice's backpack, the Gyan, the OG one, and a weapon set. So good luck getting one of the actual mobile suits. Or you could try your luck at winning this Suletta Mercury Season 2 ending figure. A perfectly average price figure that you can currently only get through Japanese arcades, but I have no doubt that she will eventually become available through regular Japanese hobby stores for around 20 to 30 US. And you can combine her with the matching Miorine figure that will become available in March. And also on that day, we got the 24th volume of FW Gundam Converge. Included in the lineup are the Rising Freedom Gundam, Immortal Justice Gundam, Gundam Calibarn, Rigazi Unicorn version, and Zaku Tank. Each figure goes for 693 yen, 5 US, and comes with a soda-flavored piece of chewing gum. Next up on Wednesday then, we got some Gundam-themed smartphone rings. There's a multi-ring for 2,508 yen, 17 US, which is styled after Amro's insignia, the Neo Zeon insignia, the aerial, or the holder insignia. And then you can also get a multi-ring plus for 2,178 yen, 15 US. This thing goes between your phone and your phone case, so you can hang your phone from it. And the available designs are Suletta, Mirine, Elan, Shaddiq, and the Caliborn. And then finally today, we are getting 3 Gunpla. There is the very shiny SDW Heroes Musha Gundam the 78th, which goes for 1,760 yen, 12 US. The not quite so shiny SDW Heroes Onmitsu Gundam Ariel for 1,540 yen, 10 US. And the high-grade Black Knight Squad Shi-ve-A for 2,970 yen, 20 US. A badass-looking machine with a not quite as badass beam cloak. I really wonder how that thing is going to look in real life. For this week's reading material then, the 3rd manga volume of Gundam Rust Horizon went up for sale, the Gundam Seed Freedom Special Edition book got a restock, and the old SD Command Chronicles manga will be reprinted through Fukan, which is linked down below. Volume 1 will be releasing in late February, Volume 2 in late April, and Volume 3 in late June. On to this week's Gundam Apparel then, where Strict G kicked things off on the 16th with, of course, more Gundam Seed Freedom things. By themselves, they released an Eco back with the promotional art for 3,630 yen, 24 US, an acrylic stand with the main promotional image for 1,650 yen, around 12 US, and a sports towel with the long promotional art for 3,300 yen, 22 US. And then in collaboration with Tamashii Nations, pre-orders began for a white or black t-shirt for 5,830 yen each, 39 US, a tote bag for 3,300 yen, 22 US, and another towel for also 3,300 yen, 22 US. And these Tamashii Nations collaboration items are slated for a March release. And on the same day, Bankore also joined in on the Gundam Seed Freedom fun. You can get that long promotional art as 5 individual acrylic stands for 1,320 yen each, 9 US, or you can get all of them together for a slight discount, 6,050 yen, 40 US. There's an acrylic stand of the mecha visual art that can also double as the keychain, which goes for 1,430 yen, 10 US, and then there is a bunch of towels. For 2,200 yen, 17 US, there's a face towel of Kira, Lacus, Athron, Kigali, Shin, Lunamaria, Mayrin, Izak, Pilot Suit Kira, Pilot Suit Athron, Pilot Suit Shin, Pilot Suit Mu, Pilot Suit Izak, and Pilot Suit Diarca. And then for 3,850 yen, 26 US, we have bath towels of the main mobile suits. The Rising Freedom Gundam, Immortal Justice Gundam, Strike Freedom Gundam Type 2, Infinite Justice Gundam Type 2, Destiny Gundam Spec 2, Gelgook Menace Lunamaria Custom, Gyanstrom Agnes Custom, Dual Blitz Gundam, and Lightning Buster Gundam. And each of these towels is available as a horizontal version and a vertical version. And for the people then who need more acrylic stands in their life, on Monday, pre-orders went up for the standard and big-sized stands of the main cast from the 08th MS team. They go for 1,320 yen and 2,750 yen respectively, being 9 US and 18 US, and the available characters are Shiro, Aina, Karen, Sanders, Elidor, Michelle, Guineas, Norris, and Kiki. And then finally, we have a business bag for 7,480 yen, 50 US. The new theme is the Vist Foundation, and the previously released themes are getting a restock, being Earth Federation, Xeon, Char, Holder, and Standard Aztec Cassia. And all of these Bankore items are slated for an April release. And as always then, let's quickly wrap things up with the polls. With the upcoming re-release of the Gundam Girls Generation Aina figure, Gundam.info wants to know who our favorite older brother, younger sister pair of Gundam is. And to probably no one's surprise, the OG siblings took home the gold with 45.1%. Casval Rem Daikon and Artesia Som Daikon, or as you might be more familiar with them, Char Aznable and Sayla Mass. Then in second place, we have the OGs for many Western fans, Zex and Relina with 28.9%. So not too bad either for this nostalgic Western duo. Then we have Judo and Lena with 18.5%, and all the way in last place we have Seabook and Liz with only 7.5%. So I wonder how the rankings would have looked if they'd replaced Seabook and Liz with Guineas and Aina. Because while I don't think they would have been able to go up against Char and Sayla, I think they definitely could have become third and maybe even second. But on to the currently ongoing poll then. It seems that the 4th of March is Scarf Day in Japan, so Gundam.info wants to know which character seems to be the most into scarves. Or, in other words, who is your favorite Gundam character with a scarf? Fraubo, Mikuve, Top, or Jared? And for once, the Twitter version of the poll and the main website version of the poll are in complete agreement with each other. Top is dead last, Jared is third, Frau is second, and for once in his life, Mikuve is winning. And by a pretty big margin too. And now, I'm not gonna go and say that this poll was rigged in Mikuve's favor, but I will say that they definitely left out some way more popular characters with scarves. Characters like Setsuna Fsei, Ayame, Haman, or of course, Master Asia, who could use a scarf to destroy mobile suits. But yeah, if you want to cast your vote in this completely unbiased poll, I will of course have the links down below. And that has been all for this week's Gundam news. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.